Hey everybody, this is Miss Fanta from Andrew Johnson Elementary School again. We're going to be talking about critical vocabulary for the story Eruptions, which is going to be a specific type of genre that we're going to be reading this week. Okay, so throughout the vocabulary, I think we have 8 different vocabulary cards. Yes, we do. And I'm going to ask you a question after each whenever we talk about the definition. Okay, our first vocabulary term is going to be the word seismographs. And seismographs are instruments that measure and record details about earthquakes, such as their strength and how long they might last. So it says here, scientists use seismographs to learn about earthquakes and help us stay safe. So do you think that if seismographs are used in this way, that you might use a seismograph on an airplane? And I want you to think about, okay, if I would or I wouldn't, why wouldn't I? Alright, so just think about that if you would use a seismograph on an airplane. Our next word is evacuation, and the definition of evacuation is the act of moving from a dangerous area to a safer one. So an example of that being used in a sentence is the governor ordered an evacuation of the entire state before the hurricane hit. Okay, do you think that in the area that we live that an evacuation might be necessary for some type of natural disaster? So I want you to think, if it would be necessary, what kind of natural disaster might it be that we would have to evacuate for? Our third word is reservoir. A reservoir is where a supply of something is collected. So an example of that used in a sentence is most of the town's water comes from a nearby reservoir. So how is a reservoir different from, say, a river? So think about if it's where something is collected, how is a reservoir different from what a river is? Conferring is our fourth vocabulary term for this week. If you are conferring with someone, you are discussing an idea or trying to make a decision. A lot of the times we do those things in class. We might confer with one another and try to make a decision about something we're talking about at our table group. So after conferring with each other, my parents told me their decision. Okay, so if a teacher and a parent are conferring with each other, what might they be talking about if a teacher and a parent are conferring with each other? Our fifth vocabulary term is going to be consequences, and those are the outcomes or effects of events. So an example of that used in a sentence is one of the consequences of an earthquake is damage to buildings. So are consequences always bad, like damage to buildings, or might there also be good consequences? So I want you to think about that. The next one is widespread. If something is widespread, it happens over a large area or among many people. An example, the hurricane caused widespread damage and destruction. So if several people in a small town came down with a virus, would you describe the illness as widespread? In thinking about current times, do we know of an illness or virus that we might consider as widespread? Think about that. 7 is alarming. Something that is alarming makes you worry that something bad may happen. So an example being used in a sentence, the news about the upcoming storm was alarming to many people. So it made people upset and worry about the storm. So how would you feel if somebody gave you alarming news? What's going on in your own head if you have alarming news? And we have victim. If you fall victim to something, you suffer or die because of it. They did not want to fall victim to the dangers of flowing lava, so they sought shelter. So a question here is, what are some things that people can fall victim to? I want you to think about that for just a minute. Kind of review those vocabulary words. Those are going to be words that we're going to see throughout our text. And here in just a moment, we're going to talk about making and confirming predictions. Okay? So here we have a make and confirm predictions anchor chart. So we're going to read a story called Eruption, Volcanoes, and the Science of Saving Lives. Whenever we read nonfiction, good readers are going to pause here and there from time to time and make predictions about the text that they're reading, or make a guess about what you've read based on the information that you've gotten so far. Okay, so you're not always going to be right with your prediction, but it's good to make those predictions while you're reading. So here our chart, is going to tell us that before reading, we're going to look at the cover and read the title. So if I have the story Eruption, I'm going to look at the title of it. Okay. I'm going to look at the text features and the illustrations. So anything that stands out to me, these text features, and here I've got these different things about vocabulary. I can open it up. I'm going to see all these different things. This is actually highlighted. I know I can go to the bottom of the page to be able to tell me what things mean. And then you're going to predict what the text is actually going to be about, just based on those things that you've done. So while you're reading a text, you're going to think, okay, what am I reading about? What do I think is going to happen next? So I'm kind of predicting based on what I know, what might be happening next in the story. And after I read, I'm going to confirm or adjust my prediction. Okay, was what I thought was going to happen, did it really happen? Or, oh, well that didn't happen, but this other thing did happen. Okay, so make sure that when you're going through your text, even especially during your reading, look at the different headings, photos, and visual elements that they give you in the text. You don't always just have to make your predictions before. You can do it before, during. You can be thinking about it and be like, you know what, I was right about that. Or you know what, even though I wasn't right, I got really close based on what this information provided me. So I want you to look at the title of your story, Volcanoes. And I want you to kind of flip through and I want you to look at just the first couple pages. And I want you to say, you know what? Based on this and this, I predict that this text is about what? Kind of think about what your text is going to be about. Okay. As we look at the text, I do want you to pay special attention to a couple things. Look at the way that the author has provided dates throughout the text, just looking at the different pages. So think about why the author may have provided dates for when things happened. So what does that do? How does that help us as a reader understand what the text is going to be about? Okay, so we're going to look at something called Meet the Author. And it's going to be on a different page than this. This is our author of Volcanoes. And it says here, as a child, Elizabeth Rush dreamed up and performed plays with her best friend. Later, after studying economics in college, her first job was at a magazine for teachers. Since she had no experience as a writer, Elizabeth was assigned to be the copy editor. Her boss was stunned when Elizabeth said that she wasn't good at spelling and grammar, but she promised to look up everything. Now, Elizabeth writes about anything that interests her and is inspired by exploration and discovery. She has written more than a dozen children's books and more than 100 magazine articles. So I want you to think about this. She's written all these things. She's the author of the book that we're going to be reading about. Okay, so as you read through the story, make sure that you're making predictions. Make sure that what your predictions are is based on the elements that you're seeing in the text. And then at the end of the story, go back and be like, you know what? Was I right? Was I wrong? And answer those questions for yourself. Thanks.